Oh, I see.
What is going on, everybody? You're very welcome back to Leeds. Sorry about that. Welcome back to LeedsBros. Hope everybody is keeping and doing well. That started very unexpectedly for me there. It's a great start to the show, right now, lads, isn't it?
That sums up our weekend.
Exactly, Dylan. Exactly. Hope everybody is keeping and doing well, and I suppose as well as you can be. So we are back here for talking points to break down Leeds United's 2-0 loss against Burnley at Turf Moor yesterday. We'll get into all the talking points as always, guys, but please make sure you're dropping a like on the video and, of course, hit that subscribe button as well. Jam, I'm going to pass you straight over to you. I think we'll start right at the very start and the starting line if you want to give us your thoughts on that as well. And then we'll go through the whole run on the show. As always, guys, please make sure as well you're getting your thoughts in the comments below. We'll try and read out as many comments as we possibly can. But Jam, how are you anyway, mate? Before we get into the nitty gritty, how are you keeping?
Yeah. Yeah. Just after yesterday, I've got to be honest, boys. I was fortunate with that earlier, and I've messaged you, Dillo, yesterday. I'm just not happy. Clearly, obviously, we're all not happy as Leeds fans. I just think it's the manner of the performance and talk about lackluster. We'll get into it further into the video, but what an absolute waste of time to watch. And it's just the same things again. Touching on what you said about the starting line, Daz, and to be honest, there wasn't really many more. Maybe Tanaka maybe could have come in. But hindsight now, looking back onto it now, yeah, he should have played.
Yeah.
But the problem is, Dan James isn't fully fit, so you're gonna have to go with Brendan Aronson right midfield. Okafor's injured, so you're gonna have to go Jack Harrison left midfield if he's going to stick with the same system. So we know what's going to happen. We know what Daniel Farke is going to do, and I think every other manager in this league knows what he's going to do. And again, I'm probably going to get criticism for saying, "Oh, you're just a Farker out." I'm not at all. I'm just highlighting the points that he needs to be adapted into certain situations, certain games. And like you say, Dillo, we got to be using flex. We got to be using squad. We have to be using players on the bench because at the end of the day, lads, that yesterday was absolutely shocking. And I'm not sugarcoating it. That was terrible. Burnley know Barcelona themselves. So if they weren't that good, what does that make us? Because we lost to them yesterday, and again, people might be Burnley fans in here. I'm not, don't mean offence by it. What I'm saying, but if we want to stay in this league, we have to beat teams like Burnley, and it's as simple as that. And they've got to win over us yesterday. So yeah, long-winded answer. My head's a bit all over the place, to be honest, boy. Just because I want what's best for Leeds United, and that yesterday just simply wasn't good enough. So yeah, we'll get more into it later into the video. But I mean, there's certain players I want to talk about because it's only fair to do so and call them out when they haven't been good. But yeah, not sure what you boys think of yesterday at all, because I'm not happy.
I just want to go
100%. Go ahead, Dillo. Go on.
Just the midfield thing there you were saying about Tanaka, and I completely agree. I'm 100% behind you. Going back to this during the week when me and Darren were calling out the team lineup, I think we were saying the stack needs to start just considering Tanaka's international duties. But that midfield is stacked. That's the problem. And them boys should have got us out of a hole yesterday. We clearly know that the wingers is a situation at the minute that hopefully it will sort itself out over the next coming weeks. But they should be stepping up. Them boys should be, and they didn't. They simply didn't. I'm not even going to go into a whole lot of detail. They didn't. Not one person on that team. I said, Gabby, if people watched the player range yesterday, I was ruthless. And I'm going to continue to be ruthless. Because if that's the performance we're going to pull off when we're injured against a relegation rival, what are we going to be like when we're up against the big lads and we have more injuries or big team players out? It's not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then let's say, I agree with you as well, and agree with you as well, Jam. It wasn't good enough yesterday. Look, I think the starting lineup was probably one we all expected. We did it in the starting 11 show, and I more or less got it nailed down. It was always going to be 50-50 with Okafor and Jack Harrison, and ultimately Okafor was injured, so Jack Harrison naturally comes in. My kind of gripe with it, lads, is that first half performance was probably one of the worst first half of football I've seen Leeds United play under Daniel Farke. It was so bad, and even though we had plenty of shots and plenty of possession. We didn't do much with it. We didn't look creative. We didn't look like we were going to score. We looked lack of ideas, and we looked lethargic as well, right through the midfield as well, which I think is probably the most disappointing thing. We look lethargic after an international break when most of these guys were back in training. You would like to think they would have been fresh and ready to go. And then you're looking to Fark then at half time to shake it up, not necessarily change the personnel, but maybe change the system a little bit. But when we came out the second half, the exact same personnel, the exact same setup, and I said to myself, it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere, and ultimately it didn't. But yeah, just disappointing again at Daniel Farke, because I was singing his praises before the Bournemouth game about his flexibility, and he seems like he's really grown and learning into the Premier League when he's been making a few tweaks. I was looking for that against Burnley, and he just didn't do it. And ultimately, then towards the end of the game, then it was the usual plan B with Daniel Farke: throw as many strikers on the pitch as you possibly can to try and get a goal back. And you know, there's only so often that's going to work. There's only one time I think under Farke has worked was away at Norwich when Somerville gets the winner down there when we're 2-0 down. So it needs to be a lot better. And I understand you can obviously, you can have the counterpoint at it as well. The Farke can only deal with the deck that he's thrown at as well. But ultimately it's up to him to change as well. Like Aronson for me yesterday was poor again. Jack Harrison was abysmal, lads. Absolutely abysmal. He was more like a wing back, a narrow wing back. I don't know what the situation was with Jack Harrison. We've seen Gabby forward at times yesterday. But like, yeah, obviously look, a disappointing result, but also the performance as well. We completely dropped our level of performance yesterday. It was nowhere near it, and a lot of missed chances as well. And ultimately, it came back to bite us.
Yeah, sorry, go on, Dillo. You go, mate.
No, go on. Go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I've been thinking about a question for you boys all day today, really, and thinking, obviously hindsight now, but put yourself in Farke's shoes. If you was there at half time, would you have made any changes, or would you have kept it the same? I'm just interested. There's no right or wrong answers. I just want to know what your views are. What would you have done yesterday?
I would have liked to seen us going with the 3-5-2 with the wing backs and going two up front, either Metcher or Pirro. Personally, that's what I went. And the Farke is never going to do that in a month of Sundays. He's never going to do that, lads. But personally, that's just what I like. I don't know. I'm getting this vibe from Daniel Farke, and I don't know if it's true or not true, and I don't have anything to back up against. But I just have a feeling I'm getting this vibe from Farke that he's afraid to let the shackles off, like a little bit. We didn't look confident in possession yesterday, and look, it's not completely down to Daniel Farke, but we just look void of ideas right across the pitch, and we look void of ideas from Daniel Farke as well. And again, it was coming towards the tail end of the game when we're 2-0 down is when we decided to start changing it and throw on personnel, and ultimately it was well too late. Look, it wasn't a good performance whatsoever, and then ultimately then they get the goal, and it's a goal, lads, that's so avoidable. Like it's schoolboy stuff. A throw in from Walker, nobody anywhere near Josh Cullen. He can take it down, knock it back to Walker. Walker can take a touch and deliver the ball into the box. Now, lads, if that's me and I'm the left back for Leeds United, if I was the left back for my team that I used to play for, my manager would rip me to sunder for not closing down the throw in. It was so bad that they allowed to deliver a ball into the box like that, and then it gets worse. Then Ukachukwu is in the 6-yard box unmarked and has a free header, lads. It was just completely schoolboys defending. So, and we deserved exactly what we got, Dylan. It wasn't good enough.
Simply wasn't good enough. And then as you're saying there about the defence, that's something that we've been speaking very positively about. I think we can all agree is that our defence was kind of solid, and and as midfield as well. With that quality of players that are in there, I've said it anyway. The attacking side of it isn't the best. We need to be scoring goals, and we're not. The wingers itself is obviously an issue with everyone being injured. I know I've just mentioned that, but my point being behind all this is with the defenders in the midfield being our strongest outlet in this team. And if they're letting in goals like that, we're just going to crumble.
Yeah, the midfield was poor as well.
It was very poor. So, going back to what you said, Jam, if I'm being honest with you, I'd go with any sort of formation except for the one that we were playing because it wasn't working. I think anything is trial and error.
I didn't mind us starting with it though, lads. I didn't mind them starting with that.
No,
but it was like when it was clear and obvious. It was obvious as day that it wasn't working out. That Burnley had the better of us. And when I look at that midfield as well of Josh Cullen in there, like we should have had the beating of them. Stack had an off day, a really, really off day. I thought he was the poorest on the pitch. Ampadu wasn't at a standard as well and didn't really kind of lead as a captain leader. And then Longstaff then as well. I wouldn't say Longstaff had a poor game yesterday, but he was below the standards that he's kind of set for himself at the start of the season.
Yeah.
So that midfield didn't cover themselves in glory yesterday, and you're looking at them massively. There's a lot of pressure on their shoulders because we know we haven't got the creativity going forward. Even when Okafor is there, we need to see them midfield chipping in a little bit more. But yeah, Dylan, I agree with you. Like he should have shaken up a little bit at half time, whether it was going to be personnel or whether it was going to be tactical or formation wise, and we didn't. When we came out the exact same second half, exact same setup, exact same personnel, and it was the exact same lethargic start to the second half again. Boy, the boy this.
Look, if you're saying there, and I agree what you're saying about Daniel Farke, he kind of laid back, afraid to let the shackles off. He shouldn't be here, and I'm sorry. I'm not a Farke out, lads. Honestly, I'm not. But this Premier League is going to be twisting turns all over the place, and if you're not able to change game management in game, well, then he shouldn't be here. He shouldn't be a manager. You've seen him with all different other managers. You've seen it with Pep. You've seen it with Klopp. You've seen it with everyone that they can change the system like that. And that's the way it should be. I don't like this. I've said it so many times. I said it last season as well, and I'm sick of it. And I'm not ranting in a way where I'm like, I want Farke out. I don't want Farke out at all. As what Darren said there, he's been given the deck, and that's what he has to deal with. But you have to have a plan B. And there's no point in me sitting here and going, oh yeah, that was a great performance. I got a message off one of my mates going, why is this manager throwing on 3 strikers? That's what he texted me.
All over the place. All over the place.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
We're meant to be a Premier League club.
It's a desperate tactic, lads, if I'm being completely honest. It's kind of like, right, we've tried everything else. Let's just check all the strikers on. That's Sunday League stuff. And again, it might come across being brutal here, but that's Sunday League stuff. That's literally, I've done that before with I've coached like a youth team, and we've been losing like 3 or 4 now. I've chucked all the strikers on just to see if we can get any goals. That's how bad I think it is, personally.
But
again,
even at that, though, I said it to Darren yesterday during the watch along, and I have to agree with what Darren said. It did work, and it worked against Norwich. But that has to be another outlet. You can't just rely on that. If that doesn't work, just chuck everyone on and see what happens, and then wait till the 70th minute when we clearly see it going into half time.
It makes you feel, Dylan, like I heard some of them went away as well on warm weather training and stuff like that as well during the international break. But what were we working on over the international break?
Nothing.
Because there was no evidence of it yesterday. There was no evidence of improvement. No, like set pieces were the exact same. What you put into the box, the passing was laboured. We were just poor all round. So I don't know what Daniel Farke and what the team done with them 2 weeks, but there was no improvement. I said it to them before.
I think they went to Bender's on lads, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think they just went on the session.
We spoke, didn't we, on the last talking points after Spurs, and I kind of said maybe this international break is coming at a good time for Leeds United, that we can have 2 weeks now to kind of work on a couple of things, work on a finishing mainly, because we were creating chances. We still are creating chances, we're just not finishing them. We're going to get into the missed chances. But yeah, again, like you 2 weeks to do a bit of work, and there was no evidence of any kind of sort of improvement. So yeah, if anything, there was a lot of negatives yesterday. We'll get into a couple of the comments as well. So we have Paul Brennan here. He says to still have Jack Harrison in this team when we should have been sold 2 years ago. He's still here because nobody wants him, and I probably agree with that as well. It was going to be hard to offload him this summer. Michael says, I would say that's one strike against Farke with the board. I would say so as well. Darren, what you were saying about playing 3 at the back, 2 up front was probably going to be our strongest team. I think it was a shake-up. And like I said, like Daniel Farke sees these players, and he's a lot more knowledge than what we have sitting here as 3 YouTubers. Of course he does. But it's evident as day, like the last 2 or 3 weeks in a row, I've called his lineup, I've called his tactics, and if I can do it as an absolute nobody, Scott Parker can do it, and every other Premier League manager can do it. So there's times where he needs to be a little bit more flexible and a little bit kind of surprise us a little bit. But it's just Farke, lads. He's just set in his ways. You just know exactly what he's going to do. And it's a stubbornness at times that is going to be his downfall, especially in the Premier League. I think the Championship, you get away with it, especially with the quality we had. But in the Premier League, to be as stubborn as he is, ultimately can make him lose his job. But I think that's a conversation for another day. Pierre says, I'm really not happy with Farke at the moment. And I think I agree. I think a lot of people are saying the same thing as well. Yesterday was an utter failure, and Farke didn't respond. He didn't. Yeah, he didn't. He just seemed to kind of let it go and see how it was going. Lesson learned, late subs, no rotation, favourites not dropped, players in the wrong position, no adaptation to suit the squad or opposition. Subs were the only ones, the only one learned yesterday, 50% of the blame on the 49ers, yeah. And again, you can go back to the recruitment. I think the recruitment side of it as well, yesterday, lads, was evident to see, wasn't it? Yes, I would have brought Briall on as well. I think so as well. I think I would have went to a back 3 with our wing backs and to kind of shake it up a little bit more. We'll move on then, lads. We'll talk about the missed chances before we, get into the Burnley goal, because Leeds did have a couple of chances and we did create The first one, kind of real one in the game, with the one with the Dominic Calvert-Lewin one. Look, it was an improvisation. Look at what didn't come off, came off his shin. He was very, very unlucky at that. And we kind of look at Calvert-Lewin's game yesterday, and again, you know what you get from holding up the play, working the defenders. We didn't really have anything clear-cut yesterday, apart from that chance he kind of made something out of nothing. But the Brendan Aronson one, lads, I've watched the back. It was haunting me last night when I was trying to go to sleep, lads, how he didn't finish it. He's one-on-one with the Brav kid. He hits it straight at him. He probably gets a little bit of luck that it goes under his arm, and then Houser looked at it, it hits the post and it goes out. Typical Leeds United jam. But really, with Brendan Aronson, lads, you should be putting that. And it's not because it's Brendan Aronson. If it had been anyone, if it had been Calvert-Lewin, be giving him the exact same thing. You're in that position as a professional footballer. You got to be finishing that.
I tell you what, boys, right? And I'm not a fan of Jack Harrison. But he did very well in the build up to that. You know, he fakes the shoot and he plays it to Aronson. Well, you need to, again, I was a terrible striker. I played the defence. There's a reason for that when I played football. But, you know, you've literally got to, Aronson has just got to put his laces through that. Low and hard on goal. Because it's just, all he's done is side-footed it. And, you know, they make out then at the Brav because made a great save. It's not. It really isn't. It's straight at him, under him. What he's done is come under him and he's just got a foot on it. But you've got to be, these are chances, lads, and we're not going to get many of them in a Premier League game. You know, in a championship, we can make probably about 20, 25 chances and convert 3 or 4 of them if we're lucky. But in the Premier League, you know, half them chances, and with the player quality we've got as well, that's the concern for me is, you know, how are we going to be clinical moving forward? And that's it really summed it up. The Bogle one as well, boys, going on to a bit later. I don't know how has he missed that.
Yeah, that's we'll talk about all the chances.
Yeah.
Any chances you have off the top of the head. Same in the chat as well. And the Bogle one was one as well. I think the Bravka does well for that, lads, though. I really do, and it completely puts Bogle off. Because the Bravka can do what probably most keepers do: come out, make yourself big, and turn your body. The Bravka actually dives at him, puts his body and his head and everything on the line, and Bogle just clips it over the bar. And that was after that, and we were doing it on the watch along. I said, it's just not our day today. When an opportunity like that, even Jaden Bogle, who you can normally rely on 9 times out of 10, puts something like that over the bar. We had the Metcha one as well, a couple of headers from Metcha. You'd stack in the first half from the free kick as well, who tested the Bravka, but a save you probably expect him to make. Harrison had one into the ground as well, where it comes across, and probably a typical Harrison miss where he hits it into the ground and it goes over. But nothing really kind of clear cut in the game apart from the Brendan Aronson one. And like exactly what you said, Jam, they're game defining, especially in the Premier League.
That's it, lads. You know, you're not going to get many of them at all. You're not. And the problem is with the certain personnel on our team, you know, you're looking for some of these players to take the scruff of the neck, take the game to the scruff of the neck, and I just don't think we've got any difference makers really. You know, I felt for Calvert-Lewin as well yesterday, boys. How can you expect him to score goals when the level of quality he's going in is just not nowhere near? Some of the crosses in yesterday, I was literally like, right, we're just hitting and hoping we're just putting a cross in and hoping someone gets on the end of it, and that's no fault of Calvert-Lewin, you know. And you know, I would have liked to have seen basically someone up there with him, maybe a Peru earlier on in the game, maybe someone just to play off him, someone just to give him a bit of support. So I really felt for him, boys. He was isolated, and again, it comes down to someone mentioned in the comments earlier. You shouldn't be seeing Jack Harrison on the wing in 2025 for Leeds United. I'm sorry, you can call me whatever you want, but that's just not good enough. Can't have these players on the wings for Leeds in 2025. I'll say it again because I
completely agree, Jam. And you know, I'm going to, you said there, Darren, about chances that we had in the game. I'm basing this off this season so far, lads. We're failing repeatedly to convert chances. I don't care what anyone says. It's simple as that. We're not putting the ball in the back of the net with a high number of shots, crosses, about 47 crosses this season, a record. That's been included, and no goals from it. That's madness. And then like that, when you go
18 crosses yesterday.
Yeah, it's madness. It's absolute madness. And you go back to
have it the XG. I'll throw it back to you, but this is obviously just to help with your point yesterday. Of all the stats were in Leeds United's favour, obviously apart from the scoreline. So our XG yesterday, and I'm not big on this XG thing, but it was 2.63 with the chances that we had. So Leeds should have scored 2 goals at least yesterday with the chance we had. With 12 shots on goals, only 4 of them were on target. With 69% possession, lads. 69% possession away to Burnley. We didn't do anything with it, and 18 crosses into the box. Like, not good.
I'll give you another good, Darren. Another one. If you get time there in a minute, go back to the Tottenham game and look at that one as well.
Yeah, it's similar.
I know, it's very annoying, and it's the same pattern every single time. And Jam, what you said there about Brendan Aronson with that one chance, and yeah, he has to be finishing at 100%. But if we're lacking that at the minute, that's more crucial. That has to go into the back of the net. It is. It's just simply embarrassing.
Yeah.
With Jack Harrison on the left-hand side, look, if you go back to previous videos, I've said it, what I think about Jack Harrison, and to be honest with you, I don't rate him at all. I'll be honest with you, I think he's a rat, and that's it. He's nowhere to go, and he's back here, no one wants him, and that's the end of it. But as Darren says, you know, he puts his arm around me and tells me that we're going to get out of this, and we have to back him because he puts a Leeds jersey on, and I completely agree. But when it comes to the point, when you're trying to perform like that and you're not really doing it, and like the shot that he had where he hit it into the ground, I think you should be doing better there as well. Lads.
He didn't cover himself in any favours. When we said it as well at the start of the watch along yesterday, and Jam, we spoke about you after it as well, that when Harrison gets his opportunity, he's going to have to grab it with both hands. Yeah. And yesterday, for me, he just handed that short directly back to Noah Okafor. Jesus Christ, fingers crossed. I hope he's fit for next Friday against West Ham. But he didn't cover himself in any glory at all yesterday, Jack Harrison. And for me, yesterday, nothing said that he deserved to start on that left wing. So for me, that experiment is done. It's over. And we know that. We understand that the winger position at Leeds United is not good at the minute with the injuries we have. Now, the only positive that I take out of that game yesterday, it was at least DJ was back on the pitch yesterday, lads. It's the only positive I take from that game yesterday. It was wrecking me brain last night because I'm one of them. I become obsessed when Leeds United lose. I try and take more from a loss than I do from a win. And I'm sitting there yesterday going, what is the positives that we can take from that game yesterday? Definitely Dan James back in the team is a massive boost for Leeds United. We need to get him back fit as possible. And let's hope this loss has the exact same effect as the Arsenal one and gives us a proper kick up the hole to get us going. That this league, you cannot rest on your laurels, regardless if you're playing Burnley, your Arsenal's, Liverpool, Chelsea. You need to be at it 100% every single time because anybody can beat anybody in this division. We need to be more clinical as well.
Way more clinical.
Yes. Go on, mate. I was just saying that's bang on there. Yeah, that's me.
100%. I think the injuries, look, I'll be a bit nice here now for a minute. I calm myself down. I think the injuries play a big part in it. But why did we spend the money on Okafor if we knew that he was going to be injured? He was injured before he even got here.
It's the chance you get, Dylan. It's just the chance you take, man. It's the same with Solomon last year. It's the same with DCL, Dylan. Like it's going back to the transfer side of things. And to be honest with you, lads, I'm blue in the face talking about the transfer window because we know the mistakes that they made, and there's nothing that we can do about them now. And this is what I said it to you, Dylan, when we finished on that deadline day stream when it finished, and I said we don't want this to be an excuse. First couple of games, let Fark get it out of his system, but after that, we can't keep this metric up all the time that every time we lose a game is that the transfer window until it gets around to January. We still do have options and we still are creating chances. We're not putting our chances away now. If we weren't creating chances, you would say there's something seriously wrong here, but we are creating chances. We're not putting them away. So that's what you look at in the international break. That's something we should have been working at. That was an issue before the international break. Just going to pull up a couple of more comments, lads, here. So we have Don James here. He says, evening, lads. Listening, but I'll save my comments because they're all negative at the moment. Send them in, buddy. Absolutely. No, we read out all comments, positive, negative at all. You don't have to hold back any comments at all, pal. John Crawford said, embarrassing. It really was. It really was. And you can see Burnley are lapping it up. We're going to move on. We'll talk about Hannibal and all that as well. The way Burnley are going on about it as well. Michael said, the quality of the crosses into the box were atrocious, lads. I can't blame DCL. I 100% agree with you there, Michael, lads. The quality of crossing into the box was so bad yesterday, John, wasn't it?
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. I touched on it a little bit earlier. Honestly, you can't. There's got to be some way. There's got to be method behind your crossing. You know, anyone can go on the football pitch and just chuck the cross in. There's got to be quality on the ball. Look at Carl Walker. Look at the goal. What a ball that was into the box. And I know I know he's unmarked, but that is literally a striker's dream. Literally, all he needs to do is get a little bit of contact on it. If you had a DCL in that position, DCL would have finished that easily. That would have been literally bread and butter for him. We need that. We need quality in the box. You know, and that's kind of why I know Dan James. Come on, he put a few dodgy crosses in, but I felt like he was offered a bit more of a threat on the right for me personally. Because he was up for an instant decent crosses.
Brought energy. Felt like he brought energy.
Yeah, exactly. Game, yeah. That's what we need. You know, and that's what we wanted. But again, I've got another question for you boys, and this is about a certain player, and I'm interested to know what your thoughts are. But Anton Stack. Talk to me.
Jam, it's next. It's literally, it was the next one here. We said it in the preview as well, lads. I wasn't impressed with him against Spurs, against Bournemouth as well. He really tapered off. And then yesterday was probably his worst performance in the league shirt. I thought he was the worst player on the pitch yesterday, lads. And we'll throw it up here. I have a bit of a picture here for the second goal as well. And there is a video doing the rounds of Stack being very laboured, not chasing down his man. And I'm going to be honest, lads, this is mental. And I don't know where this came from, but he gave me Mark Rocca vibes yesterday. He really did. He was so poor yesterday. And a player that you look at and knowing the quality that he has, and he was just completely non-existent in that midfield yesterday. So for me, absolutely, he needs to be taken out of the game. That's 3 bad games in a row. So it's Tanaka every day of the week now against West Ham next Friday.
Yeah, it has to be. Dillo, what do you think?
Yeah, I think when it comes to Stack, it's stubbornness and fart, lads. He's obviously seen this in training, and it's something I keep ringing the bell on about, is about competition and not utilising the players that we need. We can keep using Tanaka was injured or he was away on international duty. You still need to get minutes into the legs from certain lads. You still have Gruev on the bench as well. We have to keep in consideration. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be dropping Longstaff, and I certainly wouldn't be dropping Ampadu. But Stack, it's time. And to be honest with you, probably another call for a Pascal Stroke as well. But he's just, the last 3 or 4 games, he doesn't look jaded, doesn't seem arsed. And then, Darren's a firm believer, and he said it as well. You want someone up his backside. If you keep acting the way you're acting, I'm going to take this off you, sort of narrative. And there doesn't seem to be no hunger or desire there at the minute between any individual on the team. That's the worrying thing. That's the most worrying thing about it. And then, I just keeps going into my head, lads. It's just, if we're reliant on the midfielders, simply because we've, as I said, Brandon Aronson and Jack Harrison out on the wings, they should be really pulling the socks up. They should be dragging us up the pitch. And it's not. It's worrying. It's very worrying.
It was labour, Dylan, as well. There's times when you're thinking, the likes of Jack Harrison, get him high up the pitch, get him wide. We were very narrow. He was very deep as well. You want to get up, get him wide, give him chances to put the ball into the box, and he wasn't. He kept dropping deeper and deeper. And I don't know whether that was a lot to do with Kyle Walker, because Kyle Walker was right up his hole and pushing on back. And there was times then you seen Goodmunson doing the overlap, and Goodmunson was the furthest forward. So it just felt like we lacked the energy completely, lads, and not a performance that you want to see after the international break, and especially against a relegation rival as well. But we'll talk about the Burnley goal as well, lads, because this is one we do have to hold our hands up as football fans, take the Leeds hat off. The second goal, lads, what a phenomenal hit that was. Like, absolutely fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
If Leeds scored that, you're turning around and say, unbelievable, like what a hit it is from the boy Chowna. But on the other side, from the Leeds United side, lads, I just want to pull up this picture, and I'm sure most of you have probably seen this down the rounds. This is poor, lads. If you look at the back 3 there, circled together, if you've got Rodon, Ampadu, and Pascal Stroke, I don't know what they're doing, lads. Like, that is so poor.
They're asking what time they're going out at tonight.
Yeah, they're sorting out, yeah. You've got Sean Longstaff there right beside the referee there as well. So you're thinking that he could get out to Chowna. Then you've got Anton Stack there as well. And this is the clip that's doing the rounds as well, where he's very laboured in his passing. You've Calvert-Lewin, he's the closest there to the ball to close it down. But the ball is just played into Chowna. He takes a turn out and has a pop, and there's no one near him. So you're looking at Ampadu there going, why are you that deep? You're looking at Longstaff there, is basically marking the referee. What's he at there? Stack probably gets away with it a little bit, because I think that's Cullen there that he's picking up there to his left-hand side. But Chowna just turns out, and it's a cracking hit, lads, right into the top corner. And Carl Darlow has absolutely nothing to do with it. But that probably sums up our day yesterday, lads. It's like, skill boy is the only way to describe that.
Yeah, nobody's saving that strike. Let's be honest. Yeah. That's nobody, no keeper in the world is saving it. But literally, I think the whole team there can take accountability for letting that goal, to letting him have that hit. I've seen a few comments saying that it's all Pascal's fault. It's all Pascal's fault. Yeah, he's got a big part in it. So is the midfield. There's a collective there, because that someone in that midfield should be cutting those passing lanes. A Stack, Ampadu, Longstaff, one of them should be cutting that ball. And to see him jogging, that's the thing that greats me, boys. Is the jogging. They didn't even put a shift in. And one of them could go in beyond, just run and put your body on the line. Even if you give away a free kick, just do something. You can't let a player of that quality in this league have 3 strikes a goal, because that's what's going to happen. And if we do that against a Man City or any other big team like that, we're going to get absolutely pulverised.
Yeah.
Because they're going to take shots, and the player quality is just that high. You know, I do apologise, boys, because I'll be honest, on this being
No,
very
You
negative,
have to be truthful,
as my
Jam.
has
That
been, but I've
we
got to
have to
be
take
because I
these.
can.
You have to take these hits as we
Yeah.
come. Like we spoke about it off air, and me and Dylan did there as well. And like I think anyone that does watch Leeds Bros, we do always try and err on the side of positivity as much as we can. But that's what I think yesterday, lads. Just have to call it as you see it, and it was just a really bad performance, a really bad day at the office, and it always feels like we're a couple of bad results away from, Fark's job being on the line, or a couple of good results away. People going, he's the best thing since sliced bread. But when I look forward a little bit to West Ham next Friday night, lads, I feel like there's a little bit of pressure after being heaped on that game now from Daniel Fark. After obviously Bournemouth, very unlucky, we should have taken 3 points there. The Spurs game, really good performance again, didn't take our chances, no points there. And then yesterday, abysmal performance and no points picked up yesterday. So you look at that West Ham game, and the only kind of saving grace is it's at home, Elland Road, Friday night under the lights. You're hoping that Leeds United can react and get a couple of points on the board. But the fear is, lads, another loss there, and let's just call it then. You're talking about Fark's job being under really, really massive pressure then, Dillo.
we can't be affording that. Just going back to the photo, sorry, I was getting really annoyed there. I had the image in my head, if I'm being honest with you. Us playing football growing up, and Jam, you probably agree as well, you have to close your man down. Whether you have to take him or take the ball, it doesn't matter. That close towards the edge of the box as well to give a free shot. This is the Premier League, it's not the Championship. You need to be shutting that down straight away, regardless whether it's meant to be long.
He shouldn't be allowed that time, Dylan, to shoot.
No,
Shouldn't
and you
be
can
allowed
even
that
see
time to
by the way Stroke is, by the way his demeanour and his actual stance, he's actually backing off. He's letting him, inviting him on. It's not good enough for the Premier League's perspective, if we want to be. But you're going into Friday. I don't know, lads. I'm not confident one bit. I just have to say it how it is. I'm not one bit confident. You go on Thursday or Wednesday, whenever Fark does the press conference, and you're hoping for a bit of good news with, say, Okafor, DJ, even Willie Nanto, whatever. Look, we need change. We need to shake up this system, and whether it is through the spine of the team, but Tanaka coming in and just say DJ started, or Pio coming in for Stroke. It needs some sort of.
I think it.
Yeah.
I think it needs a massive shake-up. I think Stroke now does have to come out. I backed him before the Burnley game. He was poor, so I think Bial has to come in, lads. Stack 100% for me, lads. He has to come out. He even more so over Stroke. Stack needs to come out. Other than I'll have to think about, but 3 poor games, Dylan, he needs to come out. Tanaka definitely needs to come in there. And then you're hoping them lads as well, like fingers crossed, then that Dan James has a good week of training and can get back up to speed where he can at least start the game. And if you can give us an hour, you'd be happy enough with that then as well. But and then Okafor, you're looking hopefully at Okafor then as well. There's a half chance I think of Willie Nanto's after hearing you.
Sorry, Daz. Okay. Do you think Perry comes in for Dillo?
I think we probably have to now, lads. I think we have to now. I think Fark has it in the back of his head that Perry will come back in, but his pre-match, his press conference before the game, he felt that he wasn't fit enough and he hasn't played much games, and I would agree with him there. And though Darlow didn't, particularly do anything wrong yesterday, a bit of a wayward pass would led to their obviously throw in and to the first goal. But I think now, lads, after buying a £17 million goalkeeper, I think it needs a massive change. The whole thing needs a massive shake-up. So I think, Perry comes in. I think Bial has to go into the back line. Tanaka comes in there as well. And then you're hoping then that you've Willie Nanto back, Okafor back, and Dan James then as well. That would be the best thing ever from that Fark press conference. So fingers crossed. But yeah, the West Ham game now, lads, feel absolutely massive. If they beat us, it was mentioned there by Rich. If they beat us, then they're 1 point behind us, and we're going to be well and truly in a relegation battle then, Jam.
Yeah, because we got Brighton away. I think we've got Nottingham Forest away.
And Brighton, Nottingham Forest,
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa then as well, isn't it? Well, isn't these 4 then? And we got West Ham, the Brighton one away, and then Forest then as well. And then it's the next international break then, isn't it? I'm nearly sure. I'm nearly sure it was pocket of 4, and then the Villa at home, and then Man City away, and that December then just really kind of gets us.
Merry Christmas. That December is literally just an absolute hell, isn't it?
I don't know where he's gone there. Anyway, he's in there now. We'll sing a song while we're waiting. Sweet Caroline.
Sorry about that, but sorry about that, lads. I tried to pull a comment and I hit the X button as well. It's a new mouse thing that I have, is wrecking me out. Let's pull up a couple of comments here. Darren says here, how many times did Harrison pass the ball backwards when he got the ball? Yeah, he kept coming
Exactly.
inside and playing inside and past the back instead of trying to get forward as well. So absolutely agree with that as well. Pierre says, I wonder with all the media comments from Bial and Tanaka, I wonder if the spirit in the team has fallen to the floor. It's hard to know, Pierre, isn't it? It'll just be pure speculation, that, lads, isn't it? You would hope that they're professional enough to not be thinking like that. And we hear Bial a little bit before Slovenia, before he went away, that he isn't happy. We did cover it here on the news on LeedsBros that he isn't happy with. Tanaka said the same thing as well, that he's not happy about it as well. So it's totally understandable. Aidan says here, 3 centre backs, Ampadu, Rodon and Bial. It gives a midfield three then of Stack, Longstaff and Tanaka. Yeah, I don't know that. I think if we're going to change it then that way, go 3 at the back, I think you'd rather you Bial, Stroke and Rodon and then go into your midfield. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just can't see Fark changing it though, lads. It just is.
He's not. I think Stroke could be in as well on Friday night. I really do.
Yeah.
I agree with all these are saying there, 110%. It needs a massive shake-up. But I can't see Daniel
Do you
Fark.
think Stroke will start again, Dillo, yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
I think that as well, Daz, to be honest. I think I'd love BL needs to come in just because of Pascal's confidence, but I think he's going to stick with him again, personally. I don't see it BL coming in.
Lord.
I don't know why.
I think he'll start Perry already. I think Perry will definitely come in.
Yeah, I think Perry might come back in. Yeah,
Well,
it's going to be interesting to see. Mark says, with our winger situation at the moment, surely you adapt to the situation. I actually do think 3 at the back would really suit us. I think so as well, given the current state of things and the injuries that we have as well. You would like to think that as well, Mark. And we say it, lads, all the time, don't we? All the best managers, they react and change the situations, don't they? Give them, their injury record, the game state, who they're playing against. But Fark doesn't. Fark is just down the line, one way or the highway, isn't it? He very rarely deviates from what he knows. And I did give him a lot of praise going into the season, going to the 4-3-3, because I didn't think he would have that flexibility. I was sure we were going to start with the 4-2-3-1, so I gave him his plaudits there. But it is in game state, and that's probably where I criticise Daniel Fark the most, is in-game management when the backs are against us. And we can all see it as fans, absolutely nobody sitting on a couch. We can see that it's just not working. And Fark is just too stubborn to change it around, to change personnel, to tweak tactics, to change formation all the time.
When we're training a game like that and it's the 70th minute, them subs are way too late. You may as well not have bothered at all. If I'm being, what's the point? The game's already gone. I know you're looking to try and make an impact there, but chucking on 3 strikers isn't the answer. I keep saying it, there's no plan B. Sideways, cross and hope and try and survive. And you can't do that in the Premier League. It just doesn't work. We're playing. It's like, I've said it last season about Ampadu putting his foot on the ball. I'm not singling him out. It's very slow and jaded in the build-up, side to side. Yeah. It's very boring to watch. Like, we look like we're playing in slow motion at the time, if I'm being honest with you. But Burnley had 10 men behind the ball. Sure, clearly, they're not going to let it slip now. They know what they're at. And we've seen, I said it earlier on in the video, good managers change when things are
flexible.
Right.
They're flexible.
Yeah, flexible, and it just didn't work. If you're going to dominate possession, at least do it with tempo. And Leeds just don't have that at the minute.
Need to move it quicker. There was plenty of times in Championship last year with loads of possession.
Sleep.
Loads of possession, yeah. I'm going to read out a couple of more comments, lads, and then just have an interesting one as well. So Owen says here, call me negative, lads, but I can see us getting hit on the break by West Ham. Yeah, Jared Bowen is one that, gives me absolute nightmares as well, running at our back line on the break as well. So 100% great comment, Owen. I agree with you there, pal. Definitely one we have to look at. Michael says, I wonder are the board actively looking for a replacement? On other words, he is on a short leash. I think he is on a short leash. I really do, Michael. I really do think he's on a short leash. Whether they're actively looking at a replacement, again, it's anybody's guess, isn't it? But there's no denying it that results need to turn now. And myself and Dylan said it in the pre-match. I would have gone to Burnley and taken an absolute stinker of a performance and got out of there with all 3 points, because we heard before the Burnley game against your Spurs, against your Bournemouth, against your Newcastle, Fulham, the performance is there, but we're just not getting the results, and performances don't get you any points. So I was like, if we can flip that on our head, have a stinker performance, get out there with 3 points, that all that matters. And we got a stinker performance and we didn't get any points. So
just real quick, sorry, before you pull up the next comment, you go back to Fulham, Darren. Me personally, it was a freak accident, Bob Maccabi, but I thought we played very well in that game.
Yeah,
we just didn't score a goal.
We played well in a lot of our games, Dylan. Probably all of our games except for the Arsenal one and yesterday. A lot of our games we have played well.
Yesterday the performance was just pure and utter shit. Like, I'm just sorry.
Right, thanks for popping in with that, Dillo. Yeah, Stack, he is in the right position. I'm sure he played as a DM. He did, yeah, in Germany. His best position and traits interception, less running than that role than he is now. Absolutely, yeah. It is a good point to bring across that he wasn't brought in for that advanced sort of midfielder role. And really, when you look at that three, and they're probably apart from Longstaff, you've two defensive midfielders in Ampadu and in Stack, and then you've Longstaff then that has played that role for Newcastle as well. So essentially three defensive midfielders in there yesterday. Yeah, that didn't do anything for that second goal, so that's good. Paul says it's a must win. We need as many points as possible before December, but December is brutal. I would go far as saying that now, Paul. I really do. You will have other people saying that it's not a must-win game. It's still early on. It won't define our season. But given our December period and the run that we have even into January, it's brutal. It really is brutal. And when you look at it on paper, you know, these are the games that you'd expect Leeds United that you have to pick their points up in. And we said it as well before. We looked at this as a block of 4 and 5 that we need to take at least 7 to 9 points out of these next couple of games. And that's still on jam, isn't it? We need to be taking points now because the December period more than likely is not going to be a good one for Leeds.
That's the thing, is like the fixtures that we have coming up, isn't it? Like you look at it and you think, right, these are the games that we need to be getting points in because, like I said, Paul said, that December is absolutely brutal. We got the big hitters in December, and you could be looking at potentially December not being a very happy Christmas at all because that is just going to be a hell of a challenge for us to get points there. So this is why, you know, Friday, boys, and it's not being. I'm quite level-headed with these things, but Friday is a must-win. Personally, Friday is a must-win because you know if you lose to West Ham on Friday, the pressure is ramped right up. Brighton, we go to Brighton away. Brighton, honestly. Brighton always have our number as well. I can't remember the last time we beat Brighton, if I'm being honest. And Brighton away, they're on a high. Got a great coach who's absolutely changes systems, different teams. They beat Man City at home. They beat Newcastle at home yesterday. You know, if you look at that, it's going to be a tough ask. But I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to keep the faith. But I need to see things differently. I need to see different tactics. I need to see different players for different systems
needs the changes.
It does. It needs big changes.
And we're starting to leak goals now as well, lads. And that's, you know, that's probably the worst thing of it as well. Look, we obviously shipped 5 against Arsenal. We kind of put that to bed. But the last 3 games, 6 goals shipped. You know, that's not good, Dylan, isn't it? We need to tighten up again at the back. And this is where now I looked at that. I think Fark should change it at the back because we are starting to ship a couple of goals. So maybe bring Bial in. Look, is it going to be the answer to all our prayers? Who knows? Could bring Bial in. We know he's not the paciest sort of defender, you know, and if you still ship goals, then, you know, where do you go from there? But, like, what's your thoughts of, like, going forward? Like, how the Leeds United shore us up again to make sure we stop conceding these silly goals?
Start playing to the players' strengths for starters. And, you know, for example, we talked about Gabby Goodmunson there having to bomb a forward past Jack Harrison. Not saying that's not the right thing to do. That's what an overlap consists of. But it was repeatedly. Jack Harrison's meant to be the attacking player here, and he's not really offering anything. I'm not just saying Gabby done anything wrong here. I'm just stating, you know, start playing to their strengths a little bit more. But I think the 3 at the back is probably the right way to go. I really do.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You know, if you're looking at, you called it during the week, Darren, the question that you asked me and Jam about Jayden Bogle playing on that right-hand side. We all knew it was a mad statement to come out with, but I agreed with it. Not wild in the sense of that it was a wild from yourself. I mean, it wasn't going to happen because of Daniel Farke, is what I mean. But I think 3 at the back is probably the right way to go at this time and present. Start dominating the midfield with 5 in the middle of the park and go from there, play with 2 strikers, one off another. Probably DCL and Pirro, if I'm being honest with you. I just think Meche kind of has a similar build to DCL. But
to add to that, Dillo, I mean, and Daz, you probably agree with me, is, you know, who would you think our best attacking players are? It's Bogle and Goodmanson at the moment.
Bogle,
2 wing backs, personally. It's got to be, because Gabby, in all fairness to Gabby yesterday, he was up and down. He was trying his best to try and create something for us. Okay, Bogle's wasn't at it quite yesterday, but you could see he was trying to get forward. And I again, call me brutal, but they offer way more than Harrison, and they're wing backs, they're full backs. Yeah. You know, when you did the overlaps and stuff. So yeah,
the James and Bogle one used to work fantastic out on that right wing. The 2 of them had real synergy, didn't they? And you'd even seen Bogle at times, and like Bogle's second nature. There was plenty of times in the championship where he'd get the ball and he'd just play it down that right wing, knowing that Dan James was gone to kind of hit them on the attack, and Dan James knew when to tuck in to let Bogle do the overlap. With Brendan Aronson, it seems to be a little bit kind of all over the place now, doesn't it? And I kind of think it's after affecting Bogle's game now as well. So I want to see Dan James back on that right wing as soon as possible. Look, he hasn't lit the world alight at the start of the season. I'm hoping now he has these injury kind of worries behind him and we can get him back. Skippy says, I still think Fark can keep us up, but if we lose on Friday and at Brighton, then it could be in trouble. If the 49ers do decide to pull the trigger with Fark, they need to do it before Christmas. I would agree there as well. I think like if you are going to do it, look, it's so horrible talking about this, lads, because you want our manager to do well, and Fark has brought us so much happiness getting us back to the Premier League, but ultimately this is the reality of football. We know that this is why football's gone. It's a results business, and you look at exactly the same thing what's happened to Ange Postecoglou with Graham Potter. Like, it's a revolving door. If you don't get results in the Premier League, it ultimately leads to you being sacked. And again, you're going to have people going, well, it's not Fark's fault because the transfer window, the 49ers didn't back him, and they are valid there as well. They haven't given the full deck to do the job for Leeds United as well. So I'd agree with that. Mr. White Snake says... Mr. Whitesnake says, I see everyone is shitting their pants. You're always fairly positive and fairly level-headed about this, Mr. Whitesnake. That's why I love when you come in when the fan base are on a meltdown, because you try and bring us back down to earth. Skippy said, Stack is a good player, but we are seeing why the Bundesliga big boys didn't want him. Yeah, look, I do think there's talent there in him, Skippy. I just think that probably the Premier League has caught up with him a little bit, to be honest with you, because it's been a fantastic start. He definitely just needs to get back to it. What have we got here? We've got Steve here as well. It says, the pressure is really on for Friday now, lads. The team needs rotating. Yeah, we spoke about that as well. I think so as well, absolutely. Skippy says, let's change to the 3-5-2 from the start. We have used it in games this season. I would like to see that as well. Absolutely, I would like to see it revert to the 3-5-2 as well. I tried Bogle on the right wing, James just not right back. Just a thought. Yeah, Steve, we spoke about it in the broadcast, lads, didn't we? On Wednesday night, we spoke about it in the podcast.
Yeah.
It was a conversation that we brought up, Steve, about possibly moving Bogle to right wing, because we speak about Bogle being our most creative and most attacking player from that right hand side. But then also reads into the narrative of Daniel Farke of that he likes his wingers to be defensive players, and what better than a defensive winger than a defender himself. So I would personally go down that route, Steve. I would. But
we done a good job of that yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, I don't think Farke does that personally. 49ers sack Farke, bring in Russell Martin. I don't trust them anymore. Oh, Jesus, Lord.
No, that's madness.
Paul says 3-5-2 and play on the front foot at pace. We play our best football at pace, and then on the front foot, teams on our wavelength. I agree with that as well. A lot of that, what Paul says there, and what I pick from that as well, it's the pace of the game as well, as it was frustrating me yesterday. And there was times in the championship we seen it, and then there was times we seen fantastic football. But yesterday was very laboured, Dylan. Even in our passing was slow. Our movement was slow. It looked very kind of lethargic and all as well. We need to be moving that ball a little bit quicker. And we even Joe Rodon at times coming out from the back, thought he was culprit of that as well. He was, 5, 6, 7 touches before he made his passes. Just try and move it quicker, because you're letting Burnley get back in droves then.
I think you can see it in players. I think it was Sean Longstaff, if I'm not mistaken. You can see him roaring for the ball and trying to drag the players up. Ampadu was roaring as well. And you want that kind of leader on the pitch from every individual. I know Ampadu was a captain, and it just seems, I'm sick of saying it, when we're away from home, we just seem to be so slow. It's like we're playing in slow motion, lads. There's no need for it at all. We're meant to be playing with this kind of fighting desire to stay in the Premier League. So go out and do it. It's as simple as that.
That's one thing,
knock it around at the back. It's very annoying.
That's one thing, boys, that frustrates me about Ampadu is sometimes he does slow the game down, but he does it nearly all the time. Yesterday he did it all the time. I think right now, don't worry about that. Just literally get it forward as quick as possible. But it's all about, they do that all the time. Him and Rodon do that, and it's like, I get it. Sometimes we can't play at a fast tempo throughout the full 90 minutes, but we're losing, lads, 1-0. Then it was 2-0. Like, right, we need to really get going now. We need to get that ball up there as quick as possible. And it's just, Ampadu, again, me boys, obviously Welshman and myself, but Ampadu frustrated me yesterday. Really frustrated me. Just because I think
it's just
way
slowing
better
down
than
the
that.
back.
Yeah.
Slowing down and Rodon as well. Yeah.
That's comment right there. That's what I've been shouting
Well, I'd
for.
see Pirro playing off DCL. I would as well. That's why personally I'd like to change to the 3-5-2 or the 5-3-2 or whatever way. Go with your wing backs then as well. Absolutely, go 3 at the back with Biol, Stroke, and roll on.
We've seen it
I'd be
with
happy to see that.
Rutter and obviously Pirro. I know it's completely different, but I mean, not necessarily saying DCL in the 10, but I mean, if he was to drop a little bit to flick on or take it down, as you said, Darren, bringing players into play, what a better man to lay off than only Joe Pirro if he has the shot at the edge of the box. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's be honest with you.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Dylan, you have DCL then doing the hard work. Thomas says here, Fark is too stubborn to make big changes like that. Let's be honest, he is. He is, Thomas. I agree with you as well. We can sit here and say go to 3-5-2 or put Bogle at right wing, put Pirro up beside Dominic Calvert-Lewin. As the reality is of Daniel Fark is that he's just not going to do it. He's going to stick with this. He's going to be so stubborn until it really forces his hand or ultimately loses his job. That's just the nature of it, isn't it? With Daniel Fark, we know this. Changes from Daniel Fark, everything that was needed changing, like the Meslier situation has been forced on him. It's not looking good. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I seen a crazy comment yesterday, lads, about Carl Darlow and someone calling for Meslier to come back in. I was like, whoa, lads. And we actually going back on that rule.
Let's not go down here. Let's not go down.
I like it, yeah. I like it.
And it was dead serious. Like, it was 100% that he wants Meslier back in net, so it blew my mind. Fark is useless, says Dr. Cox. That's why I'd play Ampadu on a back three. Need more intensity from midfield and then the pressing from the front then as well. Yeah. Steve says Stack needs taking out of the team. He seems to be going backwards. Yeah, 100%. That's definitely 100% the change that we spoke about. That'll definitely make against West Ham on Friday night. So, Jam, obviously looking ahead, we spoke a little bit about West Ham next week, Friday night under the lights at Elland Road. You're hoping the lads can bounce back from this. We'll obviously put the personnel beside it, the changes and all that beside it, but really, it's a massive game now against West Ham and Daniel Fark. Is a point good enough, or does he need all three?
Again, firstly for me now, I think it's 3 points now that we need, because West Ham, they'll be looking at that game as 3 points needed for them. Yeah. And we'll be looking at 3 points needed for us, as Burnley did yesterday with our game. Yeah. So, especially at Elland Road as well at home. I'm kind of hoping, is it Friday? Friday night, isn't it? You said Friday.
Friday night, yeah.
I kind of hoping that the fan, again, I know they have our 12th man at Elland Road. We really need the fans behind. I know you're going as well to that game, Daz.
Going to the game next Friday, yeah.
So we're going to win 5-0 then.
I'm praying, lads. It's me little boy's first time over there. He's 4.5. He's buzzing to go. Now, look, I remember my first game. I shouldn't really be saying this was against Sheffield United. We lost 4-0, and I still became a Leeds fan. But just for the first time, I want to turn around and go, you won your first game in Elland Road and make him like a little lucky charm. Walk Elland Road after our loss and him going, Daddy, what is this? I'm going to support one of the big six or something like that. It will break my heart. So please, Leeds, just win next week. Just win the game next week for me little boy and for the whole fan base. Please, guys, don't forget to drop a like on the video. It really helps us out at the minute. We know the whole YouTube thing at the minute, but please make sure you're dropping a like on the video. Dylan, we'll pass it over to you. How are you feeling going forward? Obviously, not the greatest result yesterday. How are you looking at now, Leeds United?
Well, firstly, I'd hope that certain individuals are back fit and ready to get going on Friday night. I think that's the main thing at hand here. And obviously, Fark to change the system, whether he does go 3 at the back. It needs a shake up. So shake it up firstly, and hopefully the lads are fit and fire and ready to go. But the Brighton game gives me more the heebie-jeebies. Away from home, it doesn't look good. Let's be honest with you. It all depends about mentality now this week, lads, and if the boys can bounce back.
Yeah, it's massive this week.
Like I know Paul there saying it's a must win. It's not a must win for me, lads. I've said it before. I think a draw keep you ticking over. Yeah. Come on, get all going. Louder.
He's giving out stink now. He's saying he's taking a point in the bin.
Well, under the circumstances, I think we're under. No, I obviously want Leeds to win, and I feel that we should be beating them Friday night under the lights at Elland Road. Not a better place to be, but simply the way that we're being at the minute, and if injuries are still carrying going into Friday, I don't expect it. It's as simple as that. But I'm going to say 3-2. I'm going to say 3-2 to Leeds anyway.
He's giving his predictions already. he hasn't even seen the injuries or Fark's press conference.
3-2.
Right, lads. Look, I think we leave it there, nearly on the hour mark, and I think, look, I always feel better after doing these talking points, lads. It really kind of puts the game to bed, and we can kind of get over it. And look, we have to move on to West Ham because this game and this league waits for absolutely nobody. So Leeds have no choice but to dust themselves down and go again. But it's going to be a very interesting couple of weeks leading on to Michael Broders just says Dylan out. But if that is it from us, guys, and that is it from Talking Points. On your way out, guys, please drop a big like on the video. As I said, it really does help us out. Drop a subscribe as well if you are new here. So that's it from us, guys. Mind yourselves, mind each other. We'll catch you in the next one.